How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Aaron Ryan back at you once again. Alright, so yeah, I am a big fan of the Chucky franchise, and what I thought I would actually do here, I do a video where I actually discuss and go through my favorite Chucky movies all the way from 7 down to 1 as well. And I'm going to explain why I have them in that order as well. Just keep in mind as well, this list does not contain the 2019 reboot as well. Okay, so at the very bottom of the list, at number 7, we have Cult of Chucky. Now, Cult of Chucky is the latest movie in the franchise that came out back in 2017. Now, the reason why I have it at number 7, well, is the whole multiple doll thing. I also feel that the plot could have been a bit better as well. You know, like the movie starts off as well where you have Nika in the hospital, and I feel that the plot could have been a bit better as well. Could you imagine if the plot was something similar like this? Like, I thought up of something and I thought, can you imagine, okay, so the movie starts off where you have Nika in the hospital. And imagine if she actually met Andy's mother, Karen, in the hospital. Because after the events in Child's Play 1 as well, that we hear that Andy's mother, Karen, as well, she's also sent to a state hospital because the police did not believe her about Chucky. So if you think about it as well, so no one believed Nika. Remember after Curse of Chucky, nobody believed her after what happened. And everybody thought, like, you know, Nika was all crazy, she's gone insane and stuff like that. So if you can imagine that a plot, so the movie opens up in Cult of Chucky where Nika wakes up in this hospital, whatever. And she's getting to know other people in this hospital, and all of a sudden she meets up with this woman in the hospital as well that turns out to be actually Andy's mother in there. So no one believed Andy's mother, they thought she was gone insane as well, and no one believed Nika as well, they thought she was gone nuts as well. So can you imagine the two of them kind of getting together, kind of you know, like meeting up together, getting together and track down Chucky as well themselves with the help of Andy as well. You know, to sort of prove that Chucky is real. All the events in Curse happened, all the events in Child's Play 1 really happened as well. But in Cult we see this multiple doll thing, there's more than one doll, and to me I'm not a big fan of this multiple doll thing. I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of too retro Chucky kind of way, you know. I'm so used to seeing Chucky just on his own, you know, like back in the old days where it's just him solo. And this whole kind of, you have one version of Chucky, then he apparently finds this kind of magic voodoo spell that allows his soul to go into other multiple dolls as well. And I don't know, that just didn't work for me in Cult. So anyway, we're going to move down the list as well. Number 6 comes in at Seed of Chucky. Seed, just like I've mentioned in Cult as well, I feel the plot could have been a bit better for Seed as well. Like what we saw at the end of Bride of Chucky, where Chuck, you know, when Chucky's baby comes out, Chucky's baby is born, and in that scene, he just looked pure evil. And what we got in Seed of Chucky was the complete opposite of what we saw at the end of Bride. It was the complete opposite. You know, maybe in Seed, maybe remove some of the elements of the comedy now and kind of, you know, kind of replace it with the horror involving Chucky's son. And Chucky's son, you know, kind of following in his dad's footsteps as well. And it might not have been a bad movie as well if that kind of did follow in that kind of tracks as well, you know. Like thinking back, the end of Bride, we see Tiffany give birth to this evil little thing, you know, and then all of a sudden then Seed of Chucky is going to be released 2004, and we see the kind of the teaser posters as well. It looks cool, and then when the movie kind of starts, you can see that Glenn is being born, you know, Chucky's son is being born in it. And then all of a sudden into the movie, then the whole Chucky's son, Chucky's daughter thing just turned out to be the complete opposite of what we saw at the end of Bride. So Seed unfortunately gets a number 6 for me. Next in the list is number 5, and number 5 is Curse of Chucky. Now I feel Curse of Chucky does deserve a number 5 spot simply because it was actually the return back to the horror elements that we all remember from the first 3 movies as well. Now the plot in Curse of Chucky is very, very decent, I have to admit. You know, it's a great movie. And it's also the introduction of Nika as well. As the first time we actually get to meet Nika in the franchise, which that's actually cool as well. And you know, like later on in Curse of Chucky as well, there was actually a scene in Curse of Chucky that I actually really liked as well, which is the throwback scene about what happened with Charles Lee Ray just before he got shot by Detective Mike Norris as well. You know, and I thought that was kind of very clever to do, you know. Very, very cleverly done. And also what's cool as well, I don't know if you haven't seen this yet, but the Chucky TV series, they've actually kept this idea as well for season 1 of the Chucky TV series, where they have all these throwback scenes as well. So I thought that is really fantastic. So yeah, Curse of Chucky was kind of like that that road away from the comedy we saw in Bride, and Seed is kind of like a return back to normal in the franchise, basically, where we all remember like Chucky being just this killer doll, the horror roots in it. You're not going away. It was actually a kind of a road back to the old days of Chucky. Okay, so next in the list is number 4, and number 4, it is Bride of Chucky. Now, Bride of Chucky was actually the last movie Kevin Yeager was actually involved in. Now, who's Kevin Yeager, you're probably saying to yourself? Kevin Yeager, well, he actually designed Chucky in Child's Play 1, Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, and Bride of Chucky. So to me, Bride of Chucky is actually the last movie to feature Chucky's kind of retro look, if you kind of want to call it that way, that kind of look that Chucky had in number 1, 2, 3, and Bride. Well, that's the last kind of retro Chucky look. Like, I also want to mention as well, no offense to Mr. Tony Gardner as well. Like, he's done a fantastic job from taking over Kevin's place from Seed of Chucky all the way up to present day with the TV series and everything like that as well. But to me as well, though, nothing will ever beat Kevin Yeager's work. In my opinion, I think Kevin Yeager, he done a fantastic job just making that doll look so evil that I remember as a child watching this and it traumatized me. So yeah, Bride of Chucky has some kind of small bit of a comedy elements in it as well, It's a great soundtrack, and overall the plot is very, very cool as well. It's also the very first movie in the franchise we actually get to meet Tiffany as well. And also we see Chucky with stitches in this one as well. And even the start of the movie I thought was really cool. Like the opening of Bride of Chucky where we see Tiffany stitch Chucky back together as well. After him being chucked in the fan in Child's Play 3. So Bride of Chucky is basically just takes place after Child's Play 3 where we see Tiffany stitch Chucky back together. All the thunder and lightning. I thought that was a fantastic intro. So yeah, Bride of Chucky comes in at number 4. Okay, so we are actually down to the last 3. Coming in at number 3 is Child's Play 2. Now, before I get into this, I just have to say as well, everything about Child's Play 2 is absolutely fantastic. It's perfect. But looking online as well through like a lot of forums, a lot of comments on other YouTube videos as well, a lot of people are actually saying that Child's Play 2 is actually their favourite in the whole entire franchise. But there's one scene in particular in Child's Play 2, and I really felt sorry for Phil in this, is when Chucky kills Phil. Andy and Phil, they never really got on, did they? Andy was trying to tell Phil Chucky really is alive, and Phil was like, oh, you're just an irritating child, He just never kind of believed him. And can you imagine the last thing you see before you die is this? You see this kind of evil doll, the eyes just glaring at you, and your time is over, this doll is going to kill you. And all the time you didn't believe this kid telling you the doll is really alive. And now you're just on, yeah, you're going to die, and there's a doll. And it still has all them dark elements as well from the very first movie. When we see how traumatized Andy was, and Kyle is there as well, the introduction to Kyle as well. And she's also there, like standing beside him, supporting him as well. And she believes Andy as well compared to Phil. Okay, next in the list, number 2 is Child's Play 3. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this because this movie did not do too well. It came out in 1991, 1 year after Child's Play 2 in 1990. So, in a way, it kind of was a bit rushed, if you get me. But I do have a soft spot for the movie. I do. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. The setting I thought in Child's Play 3 was fantastic. Completely fantastic. So, we know how evil Chucky is now. So, can you imagine putting him in a military school? Surrounded by guns and everything. And I think Chucky looks his most evil in this movie as well. Like, you see more freckles on his face as well, the more frown on his face, the eyes, everything about him in this movie. He does. I think he looks the most evil in this movie. And I think Justin Whalen as well, I think he done a great job playing Andy as well. Again, I might get some hate over this, you cannot beat Alex Vincent. He is the original. He's the real Andy. And then we get to see De Silva in this as well, Another great character. But there's one thing about Child's Play 3 that really puzzled me as well, is that at the end of it as well, where we see Andy, then the police take Andy away as well. So I was kind of thinking it would be a nice throwback as well if maybe season 2, season 3 of the Chucky TV series, if we actually do get to see De Silva coming back as well. And kind of have like a scene with Andy and De Silva kind of discussing what happened after Child's Play 3, like what did the police say to Andy and what did the police say to De Silva and stuff like that as well, continuation and stuff. And also with Child's Play 3, it is actually my favourite death of Chucky as well. At the very end as well, we see Chucky getting thrown into this big humongous fan and getting chopped into a million pieces, and he's screaming and all the lights and the lightning just going off all at once, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I think is the best scene of Chucky's death ever. And of course, the number one spot, number one, it has to be Child's Play, the original from 1988. It's the first one, you know, it's the one that started the whole thing, the one that started this whole brilliant franchise. So it does deserve a number one spot for me. Like, the movie is very, very dark. All we see is just a little boy, an innocent little boy, just wanting a good guy doll for his birthday. And only for the doll to come alive and to try and take over his body as well. See, there's nothing more frightening than that. You know, you're very young, you know, you want a doll. You get the doll and the doll comes alive and tries to kill you, try to take over your body. Like, how threatening is that? Then we see the one scene as well that always traumatizes as well, is where we see Andy's mother Karen as well, where she discovers the doll has been operating for so long without any batteries in them. And then the doll comes alive in her hand. And another particular scene as well that I thought was very cool as well, how they done it as well, where Chucky goes to visit John, and John with the voodoo, and Chucky's wanting to find out how do we get out of this doll and go back into a body and stuff like that. And he later kills him as well using the voodoo. The voodoo doll, he's using the voodoo doll to kill him and break his leg and everything like that, you know. But the one death I thought was the worst, like not the worst death as in a very bad death, but a traumatizing death, is the one where Chucky kills Dr. Ardmore and he shocks him alive, and you're just there, you're cringing, you know, like, can you imagine being in that situation, you know? And like, I've read so many people saying that death scene of Dr. Ardmore in Child's Play 1, it just terrified everybody, it traumatized people, you know. Brilliantly done though, brilliantly done. Then as the movie wraps up as well, then we see Chucky getting burnt alive as well, where Chucky's in the fireplace, he gets burnt alive. We see Andy then kind of looking back at Chucky's head, and Andy's kind of there, like, he's traumatized. He thought this doll was going to be the best birthday present ever, and then all of a sudden the doll tried to kill him. And that stare then between the doll and Andy closing the door, then fading out to the credits, I thought that was just creepy. So yeah, Child's Play 1 is an absolute classic. I'll never ever forget the nightmares it gave me as well. It traumatized me. It traumatized me. Completely traumatized me when I was really young. I can't remember how old I was when I actually watched this for the first time. I think I must have been like 4 or 5 or something. I don't know. But you know what? The nightmares, everything like that, it was worth it, because it did make me a fan of a fantastic franchise, and it's still going very, very strong today. You know, we're going into season 2 of the Chucky TV series, and you know, we don't know what to expect in a way. Like, season 1 brought back Kyle from Child's Play 2, so you know, we don't know what kind of characters Don Mancini and the guys are actually going to bring back for maybe season 2, 3, 4. Maybe they might continue it on, you know, so hopefully they do. I think it's a fantastic thing, the Chucky TV series, so long may it last. So yeah, there we go, guys. That is my list from 7 down to 1. Okay, so recap again. Cult of Chucky comes in number 7, Seed of Chucky's number 6, Curse of Chucky number 5, Bride of Chucky number 4, Child's Play 2 comes in at number 3, Child's Play 3 comes in at number 2, and of course Child's Play 1 number 1. I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite Chucky movies in a list as well, from 7 to 1 as well. Let me know your favorite ones and why you like them, why you like each one as well. I look forward to reading your comments as well. Thank you very, very much for watching, guys, and I will talk to you on the next video. If you haven't subscribed already as well, please do hit that subscribe button as well, and click on the like button as well. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I will talk to you on the next video. Take care. Bye bye.